Welcome to my channel HD Rare Coins 111, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. The Jefferson nickel is one of the most widely recognized coins in American history, yet few collectors realize that certain years carry stories that make them stand out. Among these, the year 2004 holds a very special place in numismatic history, because it marked a turning point in the design of the nickel and sparked excitement among collectors across the nation. When we talk about the Jefferson nickel of 2004, we are not simply referring to an ordinary coin that passed through millions of hands. Instead, we are talking about a piece of American history that was created during a moment of change, as the United States Mint commemorated one of the most significant journeys in American history, the Lewis and Clark Expedition. The story begins in 2004 when the U.S. Mint launched the Westward Journey Nickel series. For the first time in decades, the familiar Jefferson nickel was given a fresh design, breaking away from the traditional reverse image that had been in place since 1938. Collectors across the country were thrilled by this change, and it marked the beginning of a short but fascinating era in nickel design. In 2004, two special reverse designs were introduced. The first design, known as the piece metal, honored the diplomatic efforts of Lewis and Clark as they explored the Western territories. This reverse featured two clasped hands, one representing an American soldier and the other a Native American, symbolizing unity and peace. The second reverse design of 2004 was the keelboat, a depiction of the sturdy vessel used by Lewis and Clark on their epic journey. This design was not only artistic but also deeply historical, capturing the spirit of exploration that defined early America. Both designs gave the nickel new life and immediately caught the attention of collectors. The obverse of the 2004 nickel still displayed the familiar bust of Thomas Jefferson, but the real excitement came from these new reverse images. Collectors understood right away that these coins were different, and they began searching rolls and bank bags for examples of the freshest strikes and potential errors. Error coins and rare minting varieties are what truly makes certain coins from 2004 valuable today. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these nickels, but within those millions, there exist coins with striking differences, minting flaws, and die variations that set them apart from the rest. One of the most famous varieties tied to the 2004 Jefferson nickel is the speared bison error, though technically that was introduced in 2005. However, the groundwork for these collectible varieties was laid in 2004, and collectors quickly realized that examining every nickel carefully could lead to exciting discoveries. Another fascinating element of the 2004 nickel series is how it captured public imagination. Ordinary Americans, not just coin collectors, were suddenly paying attention to their pocket change again. Children searched through their allowances, and adults checked every coin they received from stores, hoping to find something rare or unusual. The keelboat nickel in particular became a favorite among collectors. Its detailed design, showing the boat filled with men rowing upriver, carried a sense of drama and adventure. It wasn't just a coin, it was a story, frozen in metal, reminding Americans of the courage it took to explore uncharted territory. Meanwhile, the piece metal nickel represented diplomacy and cooperation, another vital part of the American story. The symbolism of two cultures coming together through a simple handshake was powerful, and it made the nickel not only a piece of money but also a miniature work of art. As the years passed, pristine examples of the 2004 Jefferson nickel began to rise in value. Coins struck with full sharpness and preserved in mint state condition became highly sought after by serious collectors. Grading services began certifying them, and top-grade specimens commanded impressive prices at auction. It is worth noting that while millions of these coins exist, the ones that are truly valuable are those in extraordinary condition or those that feature unusual minting errors. A coin that escaped the usual wear and tear of circulation, or one with a rare flaw, suddenly transforms from common change into a prized possession. The U.S. Mint produced these coins at several different locations, including Philadelphia and Denver, and collectors carefully study the tiny mint marks to identify their origin. In some cases, differences in striking quality between mints have added to the excitement and desirability of the coins. What makes the 2004 Jefferson nickel especially appealing is its accessibility. Unlike older rarities that were minted over a century ago, this coin is within living memory. Many people still remember receiving them in their change, which gives the coin a personal connection to modern Americans. This accessibility, however, does not mean that rare varieties are easy to find. The challenge of sifting through ordinary examples to discover a high-grade or error coin is what keeps collectors engaged and excited. Every roll of nickels could hold a hidden treasure. For young collectors, the 2004 Jefferson nickel often serves as a gateway into the fascinating world of numismatics. It's a coin that is both modern and historical, making it the perfect starting point for building a meaningful collection. For advanced collectors, the 2004 nickel offers the thrill of pursuing top-graded specimens or rare errors. Competing for the finest known examples has driven auction prices higher, reflecting the strong demand for these unique coins. Beyond its collector value, the 2004 nickel carries educational value as well. It serves as a reminder of America's history, its exploration, and its diplomacy. Teachers, parents, and historians have used these coins to tell the story of Lewis and Clark in a way that is both tangible and relatable. The artistry of the 2004 designs also deserves recognition. Coin design is not simply about putting an image on metal, it's about capturing meaning, history, and beauty in a small space. The engravers who worked on these coins succeeded in creating designs that remain admired today. As time goes on, fewer pristine examples of the 2004 Jefferson nickel remain in circulation. Most have been spent, worn down, or lost, making the surviving high-grade pieces increasingly valuable. This natural process of attrition ensures that top-quality coins will only grow rarer over time. Collectors often emphasize that rarity is not just about mintage numbers, but also about survival rates. Even though millions were made, only a fraction survive in the conditions that serious collectors demand. That is why certain 2004 nickels are now considered treasures. The market for modern collectible coins has grown significantly, and the 2004 Jefferson nickel has benefited from this trend. Auction houses regularly feature these coins, and bidding wars demonstrate how much interest exists among collectors. Some collectors pursue full sets of the Westward Journey series, while others focus on specific varieties or errors. Either way, the 2004 nickels are essential pieces in any modern U.S. coin collection. As each year passes, the reputation of the 2004 Jefferson nickel continues to grow. It is no longer seen simply as a common coin but as a landmark piece in American numismatic history. For collectors who are fortunate enough to hold on to pristine examples since 2004, the reward has been significant. What was once just a 5-cent piece now carries value far beyond its face amount. And finally, the highlight of our story. While the Jefferson nickel of 2004 may seem ordinary to the casual observer, a rare, high-grade, or error specimen has been known to reach an astonishing value of $65,000. Top 2. The Jefferson nickel has been a constant presence in American coinage for decades, but the year 2005 brought a dramatic twist that made collectors and everyday people take a much closer look at their pocket change. This was no ordinary year for the nickel, because it marked one of the most exciting phases of the Westward Journey nickel series. The U.S. Mint introduced brand new designs in 2005, and they were unlike anything Americans had seen before on their 5-cent pieces. These designs were bold, fresh, and filled with historical meaning, connecting the coin to one of the most daring adventures in American history, the exploration of Lewis and Clark. In 2005, 2 unique reverse designs were released. The first was known as the American Bison, which honored the majestic animal that once roamed freely across the plains of the United States in massive numbers. For many Americans, this design was a powerful reminder of the country's natural heritage. The second design of 2005 was the Ocean in View, a depiction of the Pacific coastline as recorded in the journals of William Clark. It symbolized the climactic moment, when the explorers finally reached the western edge of the continent. For the first time in American coinage, this historic moment was captured on a circulating nickel. The obverse of the 2005 nickel also carried a major change. Instead of the traditional side profile of Jefferson, the mint introduced a brand new design called the Jefferson 1800. This portrait showed Jefferson facing forward with a more lifelike and engaging appearance, breaking from the style that had been used since 1938. Collectors were instantly drawn to these new coins. They were fresh, meaningful, and they captured the essence of American exploration and discovery. More importantly, they brought a sense of adventure into the everyday act of checking one's change. But while millions of these coins were produced, not all of them were created equal. Within the vast numbers struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints, there were rare examples, unusual varieties, and era coins that would become the stuff of legends among collectors. One of the most famous varieties tied to the 2005 Jefferson nickel is the speared bison. On certain examples of the American bison design, a die gouge created the appearance of a spear running directly through the animal's back. This striking error turned an ordinary nickel into a highly desirable collectible. The discovery of the speared bison caused excitement across the numismatic community. Collectors rushed to search through bank rolls, hoping to uncover this rare and dramatic error. It was a reminder that even modern coins could contain surprises that rivaled the great rarities of the past. Beyond the speared bison, other minting anomalies from 2005 added to the year's reputation. Off-center strikes, die cracks, and other varieties made the hunt for 2005 nickels endlessly interesting for sharp-eyed collectors. The Ocean in View design, with its inscription quoting Clark's journal entry, also became a favorite. Its artistry and historical depth gave the nickel a storytelling power that most circulating coins simply did not have. For many Americans, the 2005 nickel brought history back into daily life. Suddenly, a simple 5-cent coin was also a history lesson, a tribute to adventure, and a chance to hold the spirit of discovery in the palm of one's hand. The U.S. Mint succeeded in making these coins not just currency, but miniature monuments to American heritage. And because of that, they instantly became collectible. High-grade examples of the 2005 nickels soon became popular submissions to professional grading services. Coins that showed sharp detail, beautiful luster, and no signs of circulation damage were certified and placed into collections where they would be preserved for future generations. Over time, it became clear that the Jefferson nickel of 2005 was more than just a passing novelty. It was a turning point in modern U.S. coinage that combined artistic design with historical depth, making it one of the most interesting issues of the 21st century. As with all coins, condition is everything when it comes to value. The majority of 2005 nickels have been spent and worn down through circulation, but those few that remain untouched in pristine condition are far more valuable. The rarity factor multiplies when errors like the speared bison come into play. A coin that might look ordinary to the untrained eye could in fact be worth thousands of dollars if it contains this rare die variety. Collectors also pay close attention to mint marks. Both the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck these coins, but subtle differences in production quality make certain issues more desirable than others. What makes the 2005 Jefferson nickel so special is the way it blends accessibility with rarity. Almost anyone could have found one in their change, but only a careful and persistent collector could spot the valuable treasures hidden among them. For younger collectors, the 2005 nickel served as an invitation into the hobby. It was new, exciting, and tied to stories of real American adventure. For older collectors, it was a reminder that even in modern times, U.S. coinage could produce surprises worth chasing. The designs of 2005 continue to be celebrated today. The American bison remains one of the most iconic reverse images in modern U.S. coinage, while the Ocean in View design captures the thrill of discovery in a way that few coins ever have. Auction records for 2005 nickels, especially rare varieties, show just how much demand exists among collectors. When a high-grade speared bison comes to market, it sparks competitive bidding and demonstrates the enduring fascination with this coin. Even ordinary examples of the 2005 nickel, when preserved in top condition, command impressive prices compared to their face value. This shows that the combination of artistry, history, and rarity can elevate even a modern coin into something extraordinary. The legacy of the 2005 Jefferson nickel lies not just in its design but in its ability to connect people with the story of America's growth, exploration, and heritage. It is both a symbol of the past and a treasure for the present. As time passes, the number of pristine examples will continue to shrink, making the surviving coins even more valuable. Collectors know that today's modern rarity could be tomorrow's legendary treasure. The Jefferson nickel of 2005 stands as proof that even in the 21st century, coins are more than just tools of commerce. They are storytellers, artifacts, and works of art that carry meaning far beyond their monetary value. And so, while the Jefferson nickel of 2005 may still seem like a recent coin to many, rare examples in exceptional condition have already proven themselves to be worth an astonishing sum of $60,000. Top 3. The Jefferson nickel is one of the longest-running coin series in American history, first struck in 1938 and continuing for decades with only minor design changes. By the year 1985, the coin was still going strong, quietly circulating in the pockets and purses of millions of Americans. But beneath this surface of normalcy, certain nickels from 1985 would go on to become surprising treasures for collectors. At first glance, the 1985 Jefferson nickel doesn't seem remarkable. It carries the familiar portrait of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse, designed by Felix Schlag back in the 1930s, and on the reverse, the stately image of Jefferson's home, Monticello. For nearly half a century, this design remained a staple of American coinage. But coins are not just about designs. They are about stories, mintages, survival rates, and most importantly, the rare mistakes and perfect strikes that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. The 1985 nickel is a perfect example of this. This year's issue came from two primary U.S. mint facilities, Philadelphia and Denver. Both produced millions of nickels, ensuring that the coin was widely available across the country. However, among these countless millions, a small number stood out due to exceptional quality or unusual minting errors. The Jefferson nickel of 1985 was struck in a composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. While this alloy was common, what collectors always seek is not the metal itself but how well the coin has survived the test of time. Most 1,985 nickels spent decades being passed around, scratched, worn, and tarnished. Yet a select few escaped circulation altogether, preserved in mint sets or carefully saved by sharp-eyed collectors. These are the nickels that still show their original luster, sharp details, and flawless surfaces. And it is these rare survivors that have the potential to bring astonishing value in today's market. Errors also play a huge role in the collectability of the 1985 Jefferson nickel. A coin struck off-center, with double dies, or with other striking anomalies immediately stands out from the crowd. Such mistakes are like hidden gems that transform a common coin into a prized collectible. One particularly fascinating aspect of Jefferson nickels from the 1980s is how overlooked they were at the time. Most people considered them everyday change, not realizing that future collectors would one day hunt down high-grade examples with great enthusiasm. This lack of attention in the 1980s worked in favor of modern collectors. Because so few people saved these coins in pristine condition, today's surviving high-grade examples are significantly scarcer than the mintage numbers suggest. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A 1985 nickel found in pocket change today will almost certainly be worn down and worth little more than face value. But a coin preserved in perfect or near-perfect condition can leap in value to extraordinary levels. Grading services such as PCGS and NGC have certified some 1985 Jefferson nickels at extremely high grades, and these top-tier specimens are what command serious attention at auction. The difference between a coin graded MS-65 and one graded MS-67 can be the difference between a modest sum and a small fortune. The design of Monticello on the reverse, with its clean lines and architectural details, is especially difficult to strike perfectly. Weak strikes and poor details are common, which makes coins with sharp, crisp detail all the more desirable. Another area collectors look at is the steps on Monticello. Fully struck steps, known as full steps, are a major indicator of a high-quality strike. A 1985 nickel with full steps is far rarer than one without, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for this feature. For Jefferson nickel enthusiasts, assembling a collection of full-step examples is one of the greatest challenges. And finding a 1985 in this elite condition is like uncovering buried treasure. The story of the 1985 Jefferson nickel is also tied to the broader history of U.S. coinage. The mid-1980s was a time of technological improvement at the mint, but even with better equipment, perfect strikes were still rare. This means that surviving full-step coins from this era are especially valuable. Auction records show that when a pristine 1985 nickel with full steps appears, bidding quickly escalates. Collectors recognize the difficulty of finding such coins, and they are eager to compete for the best examples. This has given the 1985 nickel a reputation as one of the sleepers of the Jefferson series, a coin that may not look special at first, but which hides incredible potential for those who know what to look for. Collectors today often revisit their old coin jars and mint sets, carefully checking for overlooked 1985 nickels that might meet the highest grading standards. Each discovery is a reminder that treasures can still be hiding in plain sight. The thrill of the hunt keeps this coin alive in the hearts of collectors. It's not just about the monetary value, but also the joy of uncovering something rare and precious where most people would see only an ordinary 5-cent piece. For younger collectors, the 1985 nickel offers an approachable yet rewarding challenge. It's recent enough to still be found in circulation occasionally, yet rare enough in top grades to make the pursuit exciting. For advanced collectors, it represents an opportunity to chase the highest possible grades, competing for coins that rank among the finest known. This competitive spirit has pushed values higher and higher. The Jefferson nickel as a series has always balanced tradition with subtle change. By 1985, the design was nearly 50 years old, yet still strong and enduring. Collectors appreciated its stability, while at the same time looking forward to the new designs that would eventually come. The importance of the 1985 issue lies in its place within this broader narrative. It bridges the classic mid-century era of the nickel with the modern collecting world of today, where even recent decades are carefully studied and valued. Numismatics, after all, is not just about ancient or centuries-old coins. It is about recognizing value and rarity wherever it appears, whether in a colonial silver piece or a modern nickel from the 1980s. And the Jefferson nickel of 1985 is a shining example of this truth. What once seemed like a humble, everyday coin has become a sought-after collectible, capable of surprising even seasoned experts. As time passes, the pool of surviving pristine 1985 nickels only shrinks further. This natural process of attrition ensures that rarity will continue to grow, making today's valuable examples even more precious in the years to come. The lesson here is clear. Never underestimate the potential hiding in modern coinage. A simple nickel, when preserved in extraordinary condition or struck with a rare error, can transform into a treasure of incredible worth. And so, we arrive at the heart of this story. While most 1985 Jefferson nickels remain ordinary pocket change, rare and pristine examples with remarkable qualities have been known to achieve a breathtaking value of $110,000. Top 4. The Jefferson nickel is one of the most enduring coins in American history, having circulated since 1938 with the iconic portrait of Thomas Jefferson. By the time 1987 arrived, this nickel had already become a familiar part of everyday life in the United States. But hidden among the millions struck in that year are pieces that collectors treasure today. At first glance, the 1987 Jefferson nickel doesn't seem particularly remarkable. It follows the same design that had been used for decades, with Jefferson's profile on the obverse and Monticello, his famous home, on the reverse. Yet, as collectors know, the true story of a coin lies not only in its design, but in its rarity, condition, and the unique circumstances of its mintage. The Mint produced the 1987 Jefferson nickel in vast numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities. Millions were released into circulation, ensuring that the coin was widely available throughout the country. But the sheer number of coins struck does not tell the whole story. Within these millions, a handful stand out as exceptionally rare, Coins minted in 1987 share the same composition as earlier issues, an alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel. While the metal is ordinary, what sets a coin apart is how it was struck, how it survived, and whether it managed to avoid the wear and tear of everyday use. Most nickels from 1987 lived hard lives in circulation. They passed from hand to hand, suffered scratches, dings, and discoloration, and eventually lost the crisp details that make a coin attractive to collectors. But a rare few escaped this fate, preserved in brilliant condition straight from the mint. For collectors, the most exciting finds are those coins that remain in near-perfect condition. Brilliant, sharp, and free of flaws, these nickels shine with the same luster they had the day they were struck. These are the pieces that make their way into protective holders, grading services, and ultimately auction houses. Another key factor that adds to the allure of the 1987 Jefferson nickel is the presence of striking anomalies. Errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks give certain coins unique identities that set them apart from all others. Among the most pursued features of Jefferson nickels is the full steps designation. This refers to the steps on Monticello on the reverse of the coin. Most nickels show weakness or blurriness in this area, but a few 1987 nickels display fully struck steps in perfect clarity. These full-step examples are highly coveted. The rarity of full-step coins lies in the difficulty of achieving such sharp detail during the striking process. Even when dies were fresh, achieving a perfectly struck coin was unusual, and many coins left the press with blurred or incomplete steps. This makes full-step nickels from 1987 especially scarce. Collectors who specialize in Jefferson nickels understand the challenge of completing a set with full-step coins. Each year poses its own difficulty, and 1987 is no exception. Finding one in pristine condition requires patience, luck, and a careful eye. The story of the 1987 Jefferson nickel is also a reminder of how overlooked modern coins once were. In the 1980s, few people were saving nickels with the thought that they would one day become rare and valuable. This lack of attention means that today, top-grade examples are far rarer than the original mintage numbers would suggest. The market for these coins has grown steadily as more collectors realize the importance of modern issues. Once dismissed as ordinary, the Jefferson nickels of the 1980s now hold a special place in the hobby as hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. Auction records have confirmed this trend, with some 1987 nickels achieving astonishing prices when they appear in top condition. Collectors who specialize in the series are eager to secure the finest known examples, driving competition and raising values. The allure of the 1987 nickel lies not just in its rarity, but also in its connection to American history. Jefferson's portrait reminds us of his role as a founding father, while Monticello symbolizes his intellect, vision, and contributions to the nation. Even though this coin is modern compared to centuries-old rarities, it carries meaning and heritage in its design. It is more than just a piece of metal. It is a miniature monument to American history that has traveled through time. Condition remains the single most important factor in determining value. A circulated 1987 nickel might only be worth its face value, but a gem uncirculated example, preserved with blazing luster and perfect detail, can command incredible sums. The thrill of searching for one of these rare treasures keeps collectors motivated. Some look through old bank rolls, coin jars, or mint sets, hoping to spot a coin that others have overlooked. Every find is a reminder that treasure hunting can still happen in everyday life. For seasoned collectors, the challenge is to compete for the highest grades, the most perfect strikes, and the elusive full-step designations. These advanced goals make the 1987 nickel a worthy prize in any collection. Over the years, grading services have helped bring clarity to the rarity of high-grade 1987 nickels. Population reports show just how few examples exist at the highest levels, which is why collectors are willing to pay such high premiums. The beauty of the Jefferson nickel lies in its balance of tradition and endurance. By 1987, it had already been in production for nearly 50 years, and yet it still carried a timeless design that Americans recognized instantly. The importance of the 1987 nickel also lies in its role as part of the broader Jefferson series. Each year offers its own rarity and challenge, and collectors who aim to build a complete set must eventually face the difficulty of finding a top-quality coin from this year. As time passes, the number of pristine 1987 nickels will only decrease. Coins that remain in circulation will continue to wear down, while those preserved in collections will become more prized with each passing year. This gradual increase in rarity ensures that the 1987 nickel will remain a desirable piece for future generations of collectors. What seems common today could become legendary tomorrow. For new collectors, the story of the 1987 nickel is both inspiring and encouraging. It shows that even modern coins can hold great value, and that the thrill of discovery is not limited to ancient or colonial pieces. For experienced numismatists, it is a reminder that opportunities still exist in overlooked places, and that true treasures are sometimes hiding in plain sight. The Jefferson nickel of 1987 embodies the spirit of coin collecting itself. It is a story of patience, history, rarity, and the joy of uncovering something extraordinary where others see only the ordinary. And while millions of 1987 nickels continue to circulate unnoticed, the rarest examples, those with pristine condition, perfect strikes, or full step designations, have proven themselves capable of reaching a remarkable value of $102,000. Top 5. The Jefferson nickel is one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics. Since 1938, it has carried the image of Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. By the year 2001, this design had been in circulation for more than 6 decades, and yet, it was still an essential part of daily American commerce. At first glance, the Jefferson nickel from 2001 might look like an ordinary 5-cent piece. Millions were produced, and they passed through countless hands in everyday transactions. But to coin collectors, the 2001 issue represents a fascinating chapter in the series, filled with potential rarities and unexpected treasures. One of the reasons the 2001 Jefferson nickel is so significant is because it was one of the last years of the classic design before the U.S. Mint began the dramatic Westward Journey nickel series in 2004. This means the 2001 nickel serves as one of the final representatives of a long-running tradition. The obverse features Jefferson's profile, designed by Felix Schlag, which had remained virtually unchanged for decades. The reverse displays Monticello, Jefferson's Virginia home, rendered in fine architectural detail. While familiar, these designs connect the coin to American heritage and national pride. In 2001, both the Philadelphia and Denver mints struck nickels in huge numbers. The Philadelphia mint coins bear no mint mark, while Denver coins carry a small D to the right of Monticello on the reverse. Together, they flooded circulation across the nation. Despite the massive mintage, not all 2001 nickels are created equal. Among the sea of ordinary examples are coins that exhibit extraordinary qualities, brilliant luster, flawless surfaces, or rare minting errors that make them stand out to collectors. One of the most important aspects that collectors look for in Jefferson nickels is the strike quality of Monticello's steps. Known as full steps, this feature is rarely seen in its complete form. A 2001 nickel showing all the steps in crisp detail is far scarcer than one with weak or incomplete detail. Full steps nickels are prized because they demonstrate precision and care during the striking process. They reflect the mint's best work, and collectors value them as superior representations of the series. For 2001, finding such coins in high grades is a true challenge. Errors and varieties add another layer of intrigue to the 2001 Jefferson nickel. Off-center strikes, double die errors, and die cracks are some of the anomalies that make certain coins unique. For collectors, these imperfections are not flaws but treasures. The thrill of finding an error coin lies in its unpredictability. You never know when a roll of nickels might yield a rare variety that transforms an ordinary coin into a valuable collectible. For 2001 nickels, these errors can dramatically increase desirability. The grading of coins also plays a vital role in determining their value. Coins are evaluated on a 70-point scale, with higher grades representing greater preservation and beauty. A 2001 nickel in mint state condition, particularly with full steps, is significantly more valuable than one that shows signs of circulation. collectors often submit 2001 nickels to professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. Certified coins provide assurance of authenticity, condition, and quality, which adds to their marketability and value at auction. It's also worth remembering that coins from 2001 are still relatively modern. Many people overlook them, assuming their youth means they lack collectability. But numismatics has proven time and again that modern coins in pristine condition can become tomorrow's great rarities. The Jefferson nickel of 2001 is a perfect example of how overlooked coins can surprise collectors. While millions exist, very few survive in the highest grades with strong strikes and perfect steps. Those that do are fiercely pursued by collectors. Auction records have shown that when a top-grade 2001 nickel appears on the market, bidding can become intense. Collectors know how rare it is to find such coins, and they are willing to pay premium prices to secure them. The historical context of 2001 adds another layer of meaning. This was the beginning of the 21st century, a time of change and transition in the United States. Having a Jefferson nickel from this year connects collectors not only to history but also to the story of America entering a new era. The coin also reminds us of the durability of Jefferson's image on U.S. currency. Even after decades of circulation, his portrait remained a central figure in the nation's coinage, symbolizing leadership, vision, and the enduring ideals of democracy. For collectors assembling complete sets of Jefferson nickels, the 2001 issue is an important piece of the puzzle. It represents the final stage of the long-running Monticello design before the dramatic changes of the mid-2000s. For younger collectors, the 2001 nickel offers an approachable starting point. It's recent enough to be familiar, yet rare enough in top condition to spark the thrill of the hunt. For seasoned collectors, it provides the challenge of locating the finest known examples. The allure of the 2001 Jefferson nickel lies in its balance of accessibility and rarity. Most examples are common and worth little, but the rare few in extraordinary condition stand out as treasures. This contrast makes the search exciting. Collectors often describe the process of searching for rare nickels as a form of treasure hunting. Whether sifting through bank rolls or examining coins under magnification, the goal is always the same: to find the hidden gem others have overlooked. The beauty of the Jefferson nickel series is its endurance and consistency. By 2001, it had already been in production for over 60 years, making it one of the most familiar coins in American life. Yet even within such a long tradition, surprises still emerged. The market for modern coins continues to grow as collectors recognize their potential. The 2001 nickel, once dismissed as too ordinary, is now being reevaluated and appreciated for the rarities it contains. The Monticello design itself remains a masterpiece of numismatic art. Its clean lines and classical architecture make it instantly recognizable, while also serving as a challenge for striking quality. Full steps nickels are the ultimate prize in this regard. Over time, as circulation wears down the majority of 2001 nickels, the remaining high-grade examples will become even scarcer. Natural attrition ensures that rarity will increase, making today's treasures even more valuable tomorrow. The Jefferson nickel of 2001 stands as proof that even modern coins hold hidden stories. It shows that patience, knowledge, and a careful eye can uncover extraordinary value where most people see only small change. Collectors prize it not just for its monetary worth, but for the story it tells about American history, design, and the thrill of discovery. It embodies the excitement that keeps the hobby alive. And so, while the Jefferson nickel 5 cent of 2001 may look like an ordinary coin to the untrained eye, rare examples in pristine condition with the finest qualities have reached an impressive value of $87,000.